Good morning, everybody. It's about to go down. I need you to do me a favor. Contact your friends, your family. Tell them coffee time is on. We've got a lot to talk about today. Your haters can't stand you, but they can't do anything with you because where you're going and what's about to happen wasn't ordered by them. They didn't create you, so they can't stop you. Invite somebody to share. We'll be back right after this.
Coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time or a crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on. Time in my life. Coffee time feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.
And good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Do me a favor. Invite somebody to share. So let me first start out by apologizing for not coming on last night to talk about Lil Nas X. But I had some things that came up last night that were very important that I had to attend to. And as a result of that, I could not come on. I am going to be talking about it. However, I also decided yesterday that I'm not in a rush to talk about what I've been talking about, because if you've been following me any length of time, especially in the last 3 weeks, I told you this was coming. So I put myself, I did it to me, in somewhat of a jam by trying to explain Lil Nas X, what's going on, explain where we are in terms of the end times. And I just decided I'm not going to do that because I have been talking about it. I've been dropping pebbles. I've been talking about end times. So I'm not getting ready to let the devil put any pressure on me to explain his tactics and his tricks. If you want to know, you need to watch Coffee Time, watch Encounter, and watch Terrence Pickett Live, because all three platforms I've been dealing with it, talking about it. So I may get to it tonight. I may not. However, keep watching. Don't let it scare you. I promise you. You shouldn't be alarmed. Oh my God, the blatant tactic of the devil. Well, the devil's doing what the devil's supposed to do. You got to do what you have to do. And this morning, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. All right. So let me start out by saying my good mornings. Good mornings. I am Delta. Good morning. Star Wright. Good morning. Teresa Bryant. Thank you for sharing the link. Good morning. Rhonda Oliver. Good morning. Miss Nikki. Good morning. Vonda Oliver. Good morning. And good morning, all of you. Christine Palmer. Good to see you. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Time Live. So check it. So a lot of times, isn't it funny how people want you to succeed, but they want you to exceed the way they want you to succeed, and they want to be able to say that their hand was the reason or the source for your success. They don't want you to win without them. When people find out that you have the ability to win without them and you don't need them, they strategically organize attacks against you. You'd be surprised, because of the greatness and the power that's in you, how it causes your enemies to become magnets to each other. People who hate each other will get together with each other, love each other, just to hate on you. And to the magnitude of your haters, it ought to define the multitude and magnitude of your greatness. James Sampson, what up, little bro? Erica Austin, good morning. Michelle Byers, good morning. If you ever want to know where your success is, if you ever want to know where your answer is, if you ever want to know the thing that stands out, that makes you look good, the only thing you have to do is do your research, listen to your haters, because wherever they are hating, that's where your answer is. I feel good already. Renika Diamond Wright, good morning. Tina White McPherson, good morning. I titled it this morning, Comfort Time, your haters are the answer, because your haters are pointing at the thing that intimidates them. Whatever intimidates your haters makes you look good. And if it makes you look good to the people that are hating you, if your haters are jealous of you because this thing makes you look so good, what do you think it's going to be to the person that needs what you have? So your answer is in your haters. There's a story about a little shepherd boy by the name of David. And he overheard a conversation that they were looking for somebody to kill or to slay this big problem, this big mass of a man, this Goliath. Goliath, he intimidated and threatened everybody that was around him because he had defeated so many armies. And David overheard a conversation. He overheard a conversation about a problem that Israel was having. Let me tell you something. Your problem is the key to your success. So many people run from what is causing them the most frustration. So many people run from what's causing them to be hated. So many people run from what brings them a lot of attention, and they don't understand what you're running from is the key to where you're going. David, the little shepherd boy, decided he wanted to be a part of the conversation. So he went to them and he said, basically, I can take this guy out. They looked at him. He didn't fit the criteria to fight Goliath. He didn't look like he could beat Goliath. You know, there are so many things inside of you that you are doubting about yourself. Because maybe you don't look like it, or maybe people don't view you as it. You want to walk away from the very thing that's been promised to you because you are allowing your mind, your imagination, to put together pictures, reasonings, and thoughts that go against the very same thing that God has planted on the inside of you. When you understand that you are a boss, your mindset shifts. You know, employees think a certain way, and then you have a boss that thinks another way. Employees, they want to put everything on the surface to protect what they have. So they got to make a good impression, and they got to be on time, and they got to do this. But a boss is willing to tell you, hey, while I'm working for you, I promise you it's going to be great. There's an ease and a confidence that comes with being a boss because you've gone through the process of refining what you have to the place that you refined it so well that it is starting to shine, and it is causing the attention of everybody around you to be on you. You don't have to try to figure out what you've already refined. The problem with us is that we're not refining anything. We're leaving too early. What you're good at, you're great at. And sometimes we suffer from low self-esteem. So God has to use our haters to remind us of the greatness that we have. You know, I didn't really think I was doing so well until I start being attacked for what I do. And you got to look at your attacks as an emblem, as a symbol to the thing, to remind yourself just how great you are. If you were not so great, why is the enemy doing everything that he can to slow you down, to stop you? If greatness was not in you, why is it that he even used you to sabotage yourself against yourself from receiving and attaining the success that you're supposed to have? If you were not great, the reason the enemy has done everything he could through your haters, through your family, through the people on your job, is because there is a greatness inside of you that is simmering. And it's about to boil over. When it begins to boil over, nobody can stop you from doing the thing that you know that you're supposed to do. Come hell, high water, sink or swim, bust a move, you're going to be in place on time doing that thing, because that is the thing that you're great at. Shakaya Top Notch, Whitaker, good morning. Twyla Ivy, good morning. Dwan McIntyre, what up? Good morning. Stephanie Brooks, good morning. So if you ever want to know exactly where your greatness is, look at the thing that people hate about you. What they hate about you is the answer for you to pull you out of the place and out of the nest of your haters and to move you on to a higher level. Too many of us try to appease the people around us so that we can be in with them, so we can be friends with them. Has it ever occurred to you that you were never supposed to be friends with the people around you because they have a pigeon mentality? Pigeons eat popcorn. Eagles fly and soar high, and they're able to see their foods over 100 yards away. Let me give you the lifestyle of an eagle. They're often lonely because they fly alone, because other birds cannot fly at high altitudes. So you need to know, if you are alone, that is a sign that you're still soaring. They're visionaries. They're able to see way afar off, even before they get there, what they're going to attain and what they're going to get. You don't have time to be sitting around talking about other people, talking about what they're doing, what they have. There's too much in you that has to be developed. And I don't care how many times you failed at it. I don't care how many times you've attempted, you've tried it, and it did not work. It still cannot stop you. And what's in you is going to come out of you. You just got to regroup, reassess things, and retry it again. There's a king in you. There's a queen in you. Tanya Stacy, True Talk. We must keep the right perspective. What is not a threat is not noticed and hated. That's exactly right. Blair Curry, good morning. Star Wright, good morning. So you've got to stop allowing. Let me tell you where a lot of your haters are going to be and who's going to be your greatest test. Let me tell you who's going to be the greatest Goliath in your life. It won't be your enemies, because your enemies really don't have access to you. They stand afar off. Nicole S., good morning. They stand afar off and they try to judge what's going on with you. Who's going to be your real Goliath, your real test? Are the people that know you, your family. Your family. Kevin Hargrave, what up, bro? He says, preach, Rev. Eagles fly alone. Gene Dot, the little bro, is on. Your family and your so-called friends. Let me tell you about them. Let me unpack this family and this friend dynamic. They're going to be your real Goliaths. They don't mind you winning and succeeding as long as they feel like they have some hand in your success or they're responsible for your success. Be careful of the people that are around you that want to take the credit for what you do. if they really are helping. When your heart is right, you help in silence. The moment you have to get on the loudspeaker to broadcast what you're doing, you're no longer helping, you're serving yourself. Your arrogance, you're feeding your own pride. You're feeding your own self. And what happens is people become so intoxicated with pride that the pride that is in them begins to kill the greatness that is in them. You want to be around people who will help you, guide you, and they don't want the credit for it. Here's why. They understand the law of reciprocity, that whatever I give you, I'm going to get that back plus some. So I'm not intimidated by you. Neither am I intimidated by your success, because I know the same God that does it for you, he'll do it for me. So this is why I've never been picket. They never kissed up. I don't care what circle I was in, what environment. I've been the same person all the time. You can catch me 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm still me. If you ask me a question, no matter if I'm in the White House or the doghouse, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Now, I will not insert unnecessary questions or answers on you that were not asked or required. But if you ask me my opinion, you're going to get that. Now, that type of mentality gets you in trouble, because here's what people want. They want you with them, but they don't want what comes with you. They don't want your opinion. They don't want how you see it. They want you to be a yes person. They want you to dumb yourself down in order to fit into the psychological dysfunction of their own mind. I've had the pleasure of walking with kings. I have. And the kings I'm talking about are not just in the White House, but they're also in the hood. But I've always maintained my perspective of things. I'm not going to allow the greatness that I see on you or in you to intimidate me from the greatness that he's given me. Because in actuality, when you put all this greatness together, that is how you build a castle. A castle is built by one gem at a time. So the people that are hating you secretly envy you, and they want what's inside of you. And when they cannot take credit for the greatness that you have, their next objective is to throw you to the dogs. But here's the thing. What they're throwing is your shadow, because you're an eagle, and a shadow is an image of the past. A shadow is a reflection of where I've been, not where I am. So because you fly so high, the reason what your haters won't work, the reason what your haters are doing will not work, is they don't even know that the image that they have of you is not you, it's your shadow. You're so high, the only thing they can touch is an image of you. So by the time they do get to the things that you've done wrong, your mistakes, your faults, you've already grown and gone to a higher place. So they're wrestling with your shadow while you are soaring high. That's why there's a scripture in the Bible that says, it says, no weapon formed against me shall be able to prosper. Listen to this. Here's the other part of that verse. It says, in every lying tongue that rises against me in judgment. Listen. There's another scripture that says, when a man ways please the Lord, even his enemies are at peace with him. The people that are hating you are going to have to knock on the door, because they're going to need your favor in order for them to go even further. That's what that scripture means when it says he will make a table for you in the presence of your enemies. Your enemies, they can hate you, they can lie on you, they can fight you, but the thing they cannot do is touch you. And God's going to make sure he put the table in front of them, and they're going to have to watch you eat. Lord have mercy. So you don't need to be running behind the lies that they're telling about you. They're wrestling with your past. They're wrestling with a shadow. They don't even know where you are. You fly so good, you fly so high, and you fly so hard that they can't even get you. So their next objective is to try to create some noise with an image of you. But let me tell you when greatness really shines. Greatness shines when you can turn your back to the noise and not respond to what your haters are saying. You can only have an argument if you respond. But if you keep flying high, if you keep soaring above the mountains, they can't come to where you are, so they're trying to bring you down to where they are. Hear me and hear me good. Pigeons eat popcorn. Popcorn that's on the ground that somebody else has left. But an eagle soars high. It's able to see its prey, and it's able to have vision way beyond its reach. Now, I'm going to help y'all today. I'm going to help you real good. You know, I hate that little Nas X, the little demon boy that put the blood in the shoe that's released. We ain't going to be talking about that often, though. You know, I hate he put that foolishness out. But let me tell you what I love. I love his tenacity. His I dare you. His boldness, his ability to step out on something that he believes. It doesn't matter if we agree with him or not. He didn't ask you your opinion before he made his move. And that is the mentality. That is the psychology that you got to develop. Stop waiting for people to confirm and affirm. You've already been affirmed and confirmed. Do what you're supposed to do and stop entertaining pigeons. The only reason they're talking is because they see the greatness in you. So I'm a fan. I'm really a fan of Bible literature, Bible history, understanding the Bible. It's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is it causes me. Ruth Madison Eves, good morning. Thanks for joining us. The blessing in being a student of the Bible is understanding the history, understanding the times that they were living, their customs, and I'm really intrigued by even the language. I really am. The curse in understanding it is I'm not easily provoked or moved by the stuff that people quote, especially in these black churches that want to be white. And I'm gonna try not to go there. You know, you got to be happy in who you are and who God's created you to be. Whenever a person is willing to change their image to meet the perception of the masses, that is a sure sign they're not sure who they are, right? I was having a conversation with a bishop that I have a lot of respect for. We were raised as brothers, but he's my cousin, Bishop Marvell Cook. He and I, last night, we had this long conversation. And one of the things that I was telling him, hey, y'all might as well get ready. People ain't coming back to church the way y'all think they are. People have found that they can find the word, get a word, pretty much from everything. And if you don't change your strategy to meet the minds of where people are, you will be chasing the shadow of where they've been. We've got to be proactive when we got to get ahead of the curve and meet people where they are. That's one of the reasons I do this. Everybody ain't coming to y'all stank churches, sitting on your little funky pews, and hear this washed down message that has no fire, it has no passion. You don't even look like you believe it. So one of the things that I was reading and studying in the Bible is that story about Goliath and David. You know, Goliath was huge. Goliath, Shekiah, top-notch Whitaker. Listen, we talked about this before the pandemic. For the benefit of those who are just joining in, I've been doing this cyber thing 9 years. Before you could go live, I was live. I was uploading videos right here, 9 years. There's a reason for that. But I was telling the story of David and Goliath. And Goliath represents the thing that intimidate us the most. Goliath represents our fears. Did you not know that fear, it's an acronym, false evidence appearing real, FEAR, false evidence appearing real. When you overcome the fear of a thing, you conquer the thing that you were afraid of. Once you conquer that, it gives you tenacity, passion to pursue and not be afraid. The reason, and this is why those of you that are taking some L's, hey, I'm in it too. Listen, the good part about losing is losing causes you to discover the illusion that is created by fear. The reason when people lose their jobs, they lose their source of income, they are afraid, is that they are afraid of losing what they have. Now watch. But when you've lost everything and you understand that the world is created by a system and you tap into that system and everything that you lost, you've gotten back, you are not as afraid as someone who's never lost. So there's a benefit in losing, because you kill the illusion that fear builds if you lose. Never be afraid of losing, and at least you've gained wisdom on what not to do the next time. And I'm talking to the king and to the queen in you, that you tried to grab some things, it didn't work out. You tried some things, it didn't work out. You're in a new space, you're in a new territory, you're in transition. You don't know how it's going to work out. I want to remind you what happened the last time you lost. You bounced back. Not only did you bounce back, you came back strong. What makes you think that this time is going to be any different? If he did it before, he'll do it again. And every time he does it, it gets better, because our understanding increase. It expands our capacity of learning, and it causes us to tap into the parts of our brain that we do not use. There is nothing that can stop you but you. And how you see, your perspective is everything. You know, I have a mentality, my attitude. Tanya Woods is on. Tanya Woods. I'm gonna call a few names. Tina White McPherson. I'm talking about people that have known me for a long time. Tanya, I'm gonna put her comment. They've known me for a long time. 20 years ago, the same perspective that I had now, I had then, because it didn't just develop. No, it started as a kid. I never forget. I don't have a problem with fear, because I understand that fear is a necessary component. Listen, you can't have faith if fear is not in the room, because faith demands opposition. If there is no opposition, you have nothing to believe against, and you have nothing to believe for. So the key ingredient to faith is fear. Fear has to be present in order for faith to be active. You can't say I'm believing and I'm pursuing and there is no opposition. So it's not that I don't get afraid. It's not that I don't feel fear. I don't let fear take the steering wheel. I've learned, I've conditioned my mind as well as my body and my actions to move. Even in the face of fear, I've learned how to do it scared. If I fall on my face, at least I tried. In other words, if something is going to kill me, I'm not going to die thinking about it. I'm going to die wrestling with it, because I refuse to allow fear to intimidate me and rob me of the promises that I'm supposed to have, not tomorrow. I'm supposed to have it right now. And a lot of times the fear that we have, it's planted in what we think others are going to say about us. They don't pay your light bill. And if they do, they remind you of what they do every time they do it. So you got to do it scared. The thing that is intimidating you, the thing that is making you afraid, is also the thing where your promise is. Goliath is not your problem. Goliath is your answer. You think your haters are your problem, but your haters are confirming the greatness that they see in you, because if it was not great, the light that they see wouldn't blind them to the point where they're blocking you and hating on you. They are there to remind you of the greatness that is inside of you. Whatever you're doing, get ready to expand it. If they hated you on one, get two. They hated you on to get for. Your haters are the key to your success because your haters are going to also give you free press. The more you grow, the more they're going to talk. Here's where you mess up. When we take the time to pause from what we're on to sit down and have a conversation with a pigeon. Even if I was to talk to a pigeon, they don't have the intellect to be able to meet me on the intellectual level where I am. So the conversation is going to be frustrating because they can only see through the narrow vision of their own lens. So why am I going to come down as an eagle to entertain a pigeon who's eating popcorn? Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me either. You got to understand the reason in order to hate you, they got to be looking up to you. Nobody hates what's smaller than them. You don't see nobody running around here talking about them ants. I'm so scared of ants. No, people have fear in what they deem to be bigger than them. Nobody worry about no ant. You never hear people talking about, oh my God, I'm so afraid of gnats. Fruit flies just shake me in my boots. Ain't nobody sweating what's smaller than them. So if they're hating on you, if they're talking about you, that means you've created something that's bigger than them that they have to look up to. And it's looking up that causes them to hate. So why are you coming down to entertain somebody who ain't big enough to be on your level? Come on, man. You got to see it for what it's worth. Your hate is a confirmation that you're entering into promise. Your hate is a confirmation that there's greatness inside of you. And if you don't know what makes you great, look at what your haters are hating, and it will show you the greatness because people got to have something that shines in order to hate. Ain't nobody hating a dog coin. So this story about Goliath, they thought he was the enemy. They were intimidated. David wasn't intimidated for Goliath because Goliath wasn't a problem. Goliath was a promise. Whoever beat Goliath, the king had ordered that they never have to worry about money. Them and them family would be rich the rest of their life. The king also said, hey, I'm going to give him my daughter. And whoever beats Goliath will always have a key to the kingdom. Meaning access. Your haters, your Goliath, is the key to your access to get even greater. When you beat this problem, when you press through this thing that seems to be so big, you're going to find out when you get to the other side that it wasn't that hard, it wasn't that bad. And the strength that you gain in the process, nothing will be able to stop you. Then you will go forth and encourage and empower other people and tell them they're going to be strong and do exploits. The key to your victory is in your perception, because how you perceive determines what you say. When that scripture says that death and life is in the power of the tongue, it says they that love it, life, will eat the fruit thereof. Whatever you speak. What it's really saying is the key to overcoming is in how you think. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Because we tend to say what's on our mind. I never forget, I had gone through probably one of the worst times of my life. You know, being a church kid, church boy, minister in the church, ordained, and then I'm going through a divorce. You know, church people nasty. So there's some nasty people. And I you know, my ex-wife and I, when we decided, hey, this marriage ain't working, we sat down, we talked, we were very strategic, we planned everything out. Nothing was sloppy, nothing was messy. And we had people around us. We had people around us. They didn't know what was going on. Let me give you some wisdom. When I got my divorce, and this is some 17, 18 years ago, probably longer than that, no one knew we were divorced for a year. My ex-wife and I made a plan to do it discreetly because we didn't want it to affect our kids. We wanted them to have a normal life as possible. And this is what it means. We had to be strategic. That meant, watch the discipline here, Even though I was single, even though I was free, if I was going to date, I would not date in the city because I didn't want anybody to know I was divorced. The reason I didn't want anybody to know I was divorced is we needed time also to regroup personally because of the personal trauma we went through in terms of divorce. It's a separation. It's a pulling and a tearing away of the soul. Y'all say what you want. Divorces are hard. They're challenging. The word die, it's the death of a marriage. So we kept everything quiet. Now watch this. One of the ministers in the church that I was a member of noticed we didn't ride together anymore. Sometimes we did, but most times she drove her car, I drove mine. She noticed, or she thought she noticed, discontentment in my ex. Now, what she didn't know is my ex was having health challenges. She put out that Terrence beats his wife. Never laid a hand on the girl. Listen, she will tell you to this day, I have never been anything to her but a gentleman. Now watch, here's a point I'm trying to make. This woman, she was married. She was known for running her mouth. Did everything she could to try and figure out what was going on with me. Now listen to this. You want to live your life in such a way where your haters have to guess, because most times when they're guessing, they're wrong. Instead of living a messy life, giving them something to talk about. Sometimes we create our own wars, our own warfare. We create our own disadvantages because we live so loose, so open. We don't care. I'm gonna be me. No, baby, you need to have some discretion. Everybody shouldn't know everything about you, because here's what you're doing. You are feeding the mouths of your haters to use the pebbles that you give them to build a stone wall against you, and you're going to make it harder for yourself. Discretion is the key to success. You can't tell everybody what you're doing. You can't tell them. You can't tell them. You need to move in silence and play your role. We act like we were a couple. Did it for a whole year. The only reason, listen to this. Listen to this. This is what I'm telling you. The only reason people found out is somebody all of a sudden got suspicious. Let me tell you why they got suspicious. We started skipping services. You know, I was the minister of music of the church. Being a minister of music, I had just been laid off my job. So now music became the weapon that I used against the devil, but it also, the weapon that I used against him also brought increase in my life financially. So I had talked to the pastor about doing worship for other churches. And I had 2 churches that I would do before I came to our church. It did not hinder our services, but at the end of worship at our service, I had to go to another service. So I was serving a total of 3 churches at the time because I needed the money. All right. I lost my job. A divorce is costly, and I still got to take care of my kids and make sure their mom is taken care of. It's the honorable thing to do. And because they didn't see me after service, they start, paying attention. But by the time they found out I was divorced, we had been divorced for about 1.5 years, but we'd been apart 2 years. Here's my point. When you're strategic in your moves and you listen to wisdom and you stop talking about everything you're doing on social media and you move in the dark, by the time your haters get a shadow of what they think you're doing, a shadow is an image of your past. It's equivalent to an echo. An echo is a sound of the past. By the time they get a hold to the shadow of things that's going on, you've already moved to a different mountain. You got to be discreet. You got to make sure that you cover your footsteps. You've got to be smart. Turn your phone off. Stop talking to people. Stop being seen. You've got to be strategic because you don't want to give your haters something to use against you. I'm going to give you this last thing and I'm out. When David beat Goliath, he got the key to the kingdom. His haters were talking because David went on the field with what all the other soldiers wore that lost against Goliath. But he recognized, hey, man, this armor ain't me, bruh. Take it off. It ain't me. This ain't how I move. When you start conforming into the image and likeness of other people and you lose your own true identity, trying to accomplish what they've lost at, you lose the uniqueness that God has placed in you that is supposed to be a magnet and attract to you the things that you need to be successful. You gotta be discreet. You've got to be wise. And you got to be you. Hey, that's coffee time this morning. Your haters are the key because they're showing you where the prize is. Whatever they're hating on, you need to research it. You need to study it. And you need to use it because haters hate up. Eagles look down. Stop coming down to entertain these pigeons. Keep soaring high. You're better than this. God's giving you wisdom. You've got that thing that we can't put in words. It's on you. It's in you. You just got to get around the right people. You know, one thing I love about my friends. I'm around people who are building. We step on each other to help each other. Gene will tell you. Gene Dot will tell you. Train will tell you. AMP will tell you. You know, we don't have the same views on everything. We don't hate on each other. We want to see each other succeed. You got to find people that are building in your direction. Even if they're not building the same house, they're building. Because only an engineer and an architect understand what it takes to build. You hang around people that just wait for the prize in order to have pleasure. You're not in harmony with those people. You're not like-minded. Where there is no harmony, there'll be confusion. You got to get around the right people. And I'm sorry to be able to tell you this, but your problem is your family. You're exhorting, you're exhausting and exhorting all of your strength trying to do for people who won't do for themselves. You need to put yourself on the stage and make it about you. I'm not saying don't help other people. I'm just saying don't help other people at the expense of killing what's on the inside of you. You got to redirect your energy as well as your strength, as well as your focus. You got to be intentional. You got to be wise. You've got to build in darkness. By the time people see the light of your success, they'll reach for your shadow. But guess what? You're no longer there. You've already moved on. Hey, that's coffee time this morning. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for inviting others. I can't do this without you, without your ear. I don't have a voice. You make this possible. If you like to support the work that we're doing, we're going back on Network T. We're expanding our platform. There are a lot of things that we have great in store. We're getting ready to take calls, live calls. We're doing coffee time after dark. There's some things about sex we need to talk about that I can't talk on a morning show. Some of you're married, you're with somebody, and you're sexually unsatisfied. Well, there's some things that you can do, but you got to be schooled. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about some more intimate things as it relates to relationship. Fellas, some of you're arrogant, but you're not doing the work that you need to do in the bedroom. I want to talk to you and tell you how to break her back. You need to satisfy her, boy. And I know y'all think oral sex is demonic, but Solomon did it. God made that body. There are certain things you can lick. Boop, doop, doop, doop. That's coffee time after dark. You're going to have to pay to get it in coffee time after dark. It's not free. But there are some conversations that we need to have. We're going to be talking more and more and more about relationships as well. Not only relationship between the man and the woman, but we need to understand the attraction that men have for men, women have for. There is something behind it that we've got to talk about. So you all be praying for me as we continue to grow. We're going back on Network TV. We've completed our contract with Sony. I don't think I'm going to renew. I've enjoyed being with them. Thank them for their platform. But I think it's time for us to expand even the more. And I need your help to do it. You're able to help me by showing up and inviting other people and with your financial support. We're not connected to a church or a company. Everything that we do off the love and the heart of the people. It's your gift that makes this possible. Without your ear, I don't have a voice. You make this possible. We are a match made in heaven, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you for your support, your love. My Cash App is on the screen. If you'd like to give another way, hit me in the DM. I appreciate y'all. Listen, you were born to win, predestined to succeed. There's nothing that can happen to you today that the wisdom on the inside of you is not able to handle. You got to calm down, slow down, use emotional intelligence, think it through. Get your emotions out of the way, get up under control, trust God, use emotional intelligence, and let wisdom speak. When wisdom speak, you will always win. Go have a productive day, and always remember to think higher, speak life. Don't go nowhere. I've got a sweet outro that I created just for you.
Coffee time, coffee time. Yeah, this ain't your average cup of joe. Listen, I need it in the morning, I need it at night. He always keeps it brewing, he always keeps it tight. Just a little sip, it'll get you right. Terrence Pickett always be the one that gets the coffee right. The coffee's right, the coffee's right in my life. It's never a wrong time over crime to get what's yours and to get what's mine. Come on. Coffee time in my life. Coffee time. Feels so right. I need a little sugar, put it in my cup. Can you stir it, Terrence? Let me know what's up. And at the end of the show, you can brew another pot. Just make sure you make it hot. Come on.